Julie Chrisley's letters from prison reveal the heartbreaking reality of her separation from Todd. "I miss Todd so much, it hurts. I miss his voice. I miss being able to lie in bed next to each other," Julie said. "I miss my person," in a jail letter released by her daughter Savannah Chrisley. More than a year after Julie Chrisley began her prison sentence, fans are finally hearing about it in her own words. On Tuesday's edition of her daughter Savannah Chrisley's Unlocked podcast, the 26-year-old Chrisley Knows Best alum published letters written by her mother from behind bars, in which she expresses her sadness about being separated from her husband Todd and children. In the first letter, dated January 17, 2023, when the pair initially reported to prison, the former reality star wrote, "I knew my life was going to change forever. My husband and I stood in our bedroom, just in front of our prayer bench, and said our goodbyes. We hugged, kissed, and prayed as he walked out the door to Pensacola, Florida, with Savannah, Grayson, and Nick." Julie, 51, is currently serving a reduced 5-year prison sentence in Lexington, Kentucky, while her husband, Todd, 54, is receiving a reduced 10-year sentence in federal prison camp Pensacola, Florida, for their financial crimes. "This would be the last time I spoke with my husband face to face," she revealed. "We talked on the phone during his ride to Pensacola. I called one last time before I self-surrendered to the camp in Lexington." Savannah grew tearful as she kept reading the letter, which stated, "What a sobering thought. The man I had lived with, raised a family with, and loved more than life itself is now temporarily residing in Florida, and me in Kentucky. My parents and the child that made me a mother, Chase, along with Chad, our dear friend, drove to Kentucky," Julie said. "I couldn't believe I was going to be separated from my husband and children for what seemed like a lifetime. We turned onto the road that leads to the prison, passing white vans filled with paparazzi. My family said their goodbyes, and I marched into prison with only the clothing on my back." Julie said in another letter that she was so happy to be able to speak with her family, but added that she misses Todd so much that it hurts. "I've never gone so long without speaking to him." Savannah describes the letter as heartbreaking, adding, "I can just feel her hurt through these messages, and to think about how different life is now, almost a year and a half later, and to think that, sure, there's some funny things in here, mom's trying to make jokes, trying to make light of it, but like this is her life now. And it's so different than it was before, just in terms of the emotional impact of missing your family so much." Julie explained in another message that the family's reputation extended inside bars, which only made her mourn her husband, saying, "So many people know us here, so they're always talking about him, something I love, but it also makes me sad." Savannah read another letter from her mother, in which she stated that she still wanted to see Todd. "It was great seeing the kids and mom and dad this week, but I miss Todd so bad," she wrote in an email. "I miss his voice. I miss being able to lie in bed next to each other. I miss my person. I contacted Chase in the middle of the afternoon, and I'm so worried about my kids. I spoke with him for about a minute before sending him an email. I also went to a building to have x-rays of my feet." Savannah stated that every single letter Julie wrote addressed how she can't wait to hear from or see Todd. Todd and Julie were charged in August 2019 with 12 counts of bank and wire fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy, all of which they deny. The pair was exonerated of a state tax evasion allegation in Georgia in October 2019, but they still face federal accusations for allegedly dodging federal taxes. Following a roughly 3-week trial that began in May 2022, the Chrisleys were sentenced to a total of 19 years in jail that November. Despite having appealed the case, they reported to prison in January 2023.